All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about how to plan and host a virtual summit. And if you're like most people, you've probably attended a virtual summit before. You've probably seen them, but if not, I want to spend a couple minutes just talking to you about what is a virtual summit. So if you've ever attended a conference, so like if you've ever gone to a live event where you spent a couple days or a day at least going to a live event and you heard speakers come and you heard people present on a certain topic, it's really the same thing. A virtual summit is just that, except online. So you, instead of actually getting in a plane or getting in your car and going to a certain location, you're actually just getting on your computer and watching speakers speak to you from a virtual location. And so this is one of those where so you can go and you can attend essentially a conference online. And many people have done that to one degree or another. But you can have really the appeal of this too is you can have people from all over the world. You could have people from anywhere because now travel is no longer an issue. Travel is no longer a thing. It's no longer something that you're like, hey, I can't come because it's too expensive or too far to travel. No, I there's no more excuse. As long as I can get online, I can do this. So you have the ability to bring in large numbers of people to one of these. And that's just it, is that this can be a massive lead generator for you. So if you need to build your email list, you need to grow your reach to get yourself out there and to build a larger audience, this is an amazing way to do it very, very fast. You can get a boatload of leads very, very quickly. So, because what is going to happen is that you're going to, if you set up the virtual summit, you're asking, part of the deal is to everyone who is a speaker, because you're going to go out and bring other speakers in. It's not just going to be you, it's going to be you plus a number of other people. And they are all going to be asked, as part of being a speaker at this event, they are all asked to promote the event to their audience. So if you get some people that have a good size email list, your event is now not just getting promoted on your end by the people that you have in your audience, it's also getting promoted by all of the people that these people reach. So it's like this multiplier effect. You have all of these people in all of these different lanes or all these different speakers going out and promoting your event for you. They're out, hey, I'm going to be a speaker at the XYZ Summit. Would love to have you. Come and check it out and come see us. And so it's an amazing way to go ahead out and expand your reach very, very fast, very significantly. And so you can absolutely do that. And so you're growing your business by leaps and bounds very, very quickly. And what you're also doing is you're positioning yourself as an expert, because these people who you've gotten to agree to speak are aligning themselves with you. So if you get some good speakers, and if you can get some people to come and speak that are kind of industry leaders in your space, people who are experts and people who have a good following and people who are, like significant players in this space, then they will, they'll position themselves, hey, I'm speaking at this event with you. And all of a sudden you're getting elevated. You're getting put up on that same stage with them. Even though it's a virtual stage, you are, you're getting placed on the same platform. You're getting positioned as, just like this person is an expert on this, I am also an expert on an even playing field. So what you're doing is you're associating yourself with winners. You're associating yourself with leaders, with successful people. So this is a great way to also build your credibility. You can be viewed as someone who is like, wow, this is I'm it, because all these leaders, all these experts are coming to speak with me. And so it's a great way to kind of build yourself as a established voice, to put yourself out there, because when the picture goes out of all the speakers, you have the bigger names in there, and then you're right in the midst of them. And so it's a great way to kind of build that credibility and that authority that you are trying to build as you grow your business. And throughout this virtual selling, there are a number of ways that you can monetize it. There's a number of different pathways for you to be able to make money off of this. You can sell tickets to the event. So if somebody comes in and they want to attend the event, it's so much money to buy a ticket. And obviously you can offer the tickets a lot cheaper than you can when you're doing a live event or a live conference, because a live event and a live conference, you have to pay for the physical space. You have to pay for all, you're covering meals, you're covering the AV team, you're covering all the different things. Well, here you don't have any of those expenses. You're not having to pay for the conference center or the food or any of the camera people or the lighting or the sound. You just have to get the virtual side of it set up. So you're able to offer this much more economically, and you can even sell sponsorships to this. If you have relationships with some, companies that are in your space, hey, the such and such summit sponsored by, maybe it's your email service provider, or maybe it's another company that's in your space that would like to be associated with what you're doing. And so they will put some money into it to sponsor, to be highlighted and promoted throughout the event. And as well, you can make offers. You can make offers, throughout the event for people to buy your stuff. And again, you're getting all these people brought in from all these other leaders, from all these other people, all the other speakers who are promoting to their audience. You're getting offers, you're getting your offer in front of them as well. So again, and let's break that down a little bit, the ways to monetize this, because this is really obviously very important, because this type of marketing event, this type of marketing activity is a little more involved. We have to, say that right up front. This is not a slap together a couple pages and run an ad to it. This is a lot more of an involved process. So I would not honestly do this unless you have some help. I wouldn't do this strategy unless you have somebody who can help you pull it off, because there's a lot of coordination here on this one. There's a lot of moving pieces that need to go into this. But some of the ways, again, you can sell tickets to the conference. So if you sell a ticket to, maybe it's even like $79, you're not even, or $59, you're not even charging a whole lot. But then at the end, you could even say, okay, now here's the thing with the online conferences, the online summits, frequently people want to hear all the speakers, but from a time perspective, they're not able to hear everyone. They're not able to catch all the speakers. So what you can say, for an extra $99, you can have all the recordings to all the sessions. So usually what ends up happening is you buy whatever the ticket is, and then you get an immediate second offer is, would you also like recordings? Would you like to have, so that you can go through afterwards for any that you missed that you wanted to hear, and be able to get the recordings. And so you have an opportunity to sell a ticket, plus you have an opportunity to sell the recordings to the event. And then at the end of your presentation, you get to offer your services. So let's say, you do your speech, or maybe you do more than one speech, and you're giving that. And at the end, you get to make an offer. And everyone who's in that room, that virtual room with you, has a chance to hear about what you do. So you can be picking up clients left and right, because all these people are coming in from all these other thought leaders who are promoting the event, and you're getting a chance to speak on a much bigger stage than what you would normally with just your own, and able to sell all of your own services. As well, what you can do is you can allow some of the other speakers to also offer their services. So if they're in there and at the end of their speech, they're saying, hey, you can go in and also buy my program, and they can make an offer there. But what you do is you can tell them, hey, that's great. You're allowed to make an offer at the end of your talk. However, any sales that you make from this event, I get a 20% affiliate commission, because I am hosting the event. I am putting it on. So even if you get a big name speaker come in and they just sell their stuff directly, and they're making money on theirs because they're selling and they're really good, and they got to where they are for a reason. They know how to sell. You can then go and say, great, that's amazing. I'm glad you're making sales, because they're happy as a speaker. They came in and they actually made money, and they're not just wasting their time. They're speaking and they're making money, which is why they would be willing to do this, because they can make some sales and make money, and they don't even have to pull all the event and do all the work of coordinating it. They're going to make some sales, and what's going to happen is they're then going to say, great, I'll pay you 20% commission, no problem. And so I'm happy to do that, because this is easy. All I have to do is throw my presentation together, present it, make my offer, and bang, I make a bunch of sales. And then you're getting paid for doing all the work of getting the rest of the audience there, coordinating everything and getting everything put together. So affiliate commissions can be a really powerful income stream from a virtual summit. Now, you always have to be careful that you don't just allow every single person to make sales, because then every speaker is just like, oh my goodness, it is offer. It can get to be a lot. So you have to do this strategically. You may not want to allow every speaker to make an offer. You may not want to allow everyone to do it. You may just want to have the select few that you know are going to be good sellers to be able to do it. It's something you have to balance, because your audience will get weary of, if there's 20 sessions and there's 20 offers being made, they may be just like, oh, like every time I turn around, someone's making another offer and they all sound good and amazing, but they're killing me. I can't do this. It's too much. So you're going to have to kind of strategically think through that. But it's a great way to earn affiliate income. It's a great way to get paid. It's a great way to do this in a way that you can say, hey, that's great. Here's the audience. Now I got it from all these different sources. Great. Whatever you sell, give me a little cut, because I brought the audience together. And so you may be thinking, okay, well, how do you put one of these on? What are the steps that you would go through to plan and host a virtual summit? Well, the first thing you really need to do is you need to make sure that you define your goals and clarify your audience. So first of all, what is the purpose of the summit? You need to make that very, very clear, because I have seen live events where it was just a random collection of speakers. And it was just like, what is the purpose of this event? And like, what you need to have a theme. You need to you don't just grab anybody that you can to be a speaker, because now it's just this hodgepodge of random people speaking who just want to be on stage, who are just, okay, you speak. Okay, you speak. Okay. Okay. Why am I here? You want a theme. You want to have, like, this person's going to show you how to do this part. This person's going to show you how to do that part. And it's going to make some logical sense. And it's not just going to be a bunch of random talks with a bunch of random sales pitches. There's a theme to this. And so when you invite your speakers, just say, I want you to speak on this topic. I want you to speak about this idea, because that's going to fit into the theme. And so when people come to the live event, they're actually hearing things that are helpful to them. They're like, there's a theme to this. Okay, I'm learning all about this. And they know whether or not they want to sign up, because they know that your summit is going to be addressing this specific topic. So you have to have a theme. You have to have this narrowed down so that people know, hey, this is what this event is about. It's clear. I understand the benefit of what I would get out of this if I attend. And this is something that I can then decide, what is this, is this going to make sense for me? And understanding your audience, you need to understand your audience. What are their needs and interests? So as you're planning out what your objectives are for this, and you're going to understand, okay, I know my audience well. The things that they need are A, B, and C. These are the things that are going to appeal to them. These are the things that they're going to say, yeah, I want that, because that's where I need help. Those are the things where I'm struggling. Those are the things that I need to work on. And I could really use some help in those areas. So now you're on a specific theme, you're on a specific topic, and you're speaking to the needs of your audience. So you need to make sure those things are aligned right up front. So that's the goal of your audience, of who you're marketing to. Then you got to understand your goals. What are your goals in all this? So your goals are lead generation. Okay. So you want to generate leads. So you want to make sure that the outcome of your event, your online summit, is consistent with the purpose of your business. because all of these emails that are coming in, all of the people that are registering, all the people that are signing up, you could I've even seen people do the ticket to the event is free, but then, if you want access to the recordings, you got to pay, or if you want access to anything else, you got to pay. And they don't even, so they're actually selling free tickets to the event, but then everything else is an extra, so they can make money on that. So you can get a tremendous amount of leads, but you want to make sure the leads are in alignment with your business. That these aren't just people, because we used to see people who would do contests and like, hey, give away a free iPad and sign up for, register here on my email list to be considered for a free iPad. Well, guess what? No one's signing up for your list because they're interested in you. They're signing up because they wanted a free iPad. And it's not in alignment. So yeah, you're getting names and emails, but they don't care about you. And as soon as you start emailing them, they're going to unsubscribe because they don't want to be here. They just wanted an iPad. When they find out they didn't win one, well, goodbye. I don't want to be around you anymore. So you need to build it for the right reason. They need to go, and because I'm truly interested in what it is that you do. So you're growing your brand and you're going to make sales. So those are the three things: your lead generation, growing your brand and your authority, because you're going to get on stage with a lot of bigger names, and making income, making sales, making money from this event. So then once you kind of get all that in alignment, you got your plan in place, now you need to start securing the right speakers. So what you need to do is you need to identify the right people who make a list of who are the experts, who are the people that are the right people to reach out to, who are the people that, yeah, this would be a great person. And then you also need to have an understanding of what's reasonable. Now, let's be honest. Like, if you are a life coach and you are just getting started out and you have barely gotten your feet off the ground, you're just getting your business launched, you don't have any following yet, you're just getting, a little bit of traction in your business, you're not going to get the biggest name speakers in the life coaching industry. Let's just be honest. The big hitters, the people at the very, very top, there's too much of a gap between where you are and where they are currently for you to get them. So what you want to do is you want to look for people that are slightly and a little bit more advanced than where you are. You want to look for people who have a following. You want to look for people who conceivably aren't so much different than you, because otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time pursuing somebody and they're going to look at you and go, it's not worth my time. You're not big enough yet. You don't have enough to offer me for me to say yes to being a speaker to your event. So you need to find people that are bigger than you, but not so much bigger than you that they'll never do it. And it's just too big of a gap. So you need to find those people, and you need to find the people that would look at this and say, yeah, I'm in alignment with your vision. I'm in alignment, the things that you're doing, because the worst thing that you can do is bring in a speaker that's out of alignment with who you are. Like, you have somebody that comes in, and let's say you are an organization that has values that align over here, and then you bring in a speaker that has values that are completely out of alignment. That, yes, maybe they're an expert in your same space, but the way that they're teaching things, the things that they stand for, the way that they speak, the values that they're promoting through their talk, oh boy, it's a big disconnect, and it's a really out of sync. And you're going to offend your audience, because your audience is following you because they're in alignment with your values. And if you are now over here, you're now conflicting. You're bringing in all sorts of tension. You're bringing in the wrong vibe for the audience that you've grown. So you got to get those things right. You got to get those things matched out, and then you got to reach out to these people. And again, some of the things you need to do is you need to think through the notion that you need to be able to have a little bit of a relationship with these people. Because let's be honest, I get emails 5 to 10 a day of people wanting to do something with me. And you know where they all go? Into the trash can, because I don't know any of these people. I have zero relationship with these people. And so I just go, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. And you know what? It's not worth my time to spend and try and research all you people to try and figure out if this does make sense. No, I just delete and move on because I've never heard of you. I don't know you. I have no relationship with you. So you need to start following these people. If you want to do a virtual summit and you have certain speakers that are, people that you would like to do business with, then you need to start engaging with them online. If they do a live video on Facebook, go and comment on their live video and say, this is great. I really appreciate what you shared here. If they post, engage with their posts. Make yourself seen. Become someone that they're familiar with. Become someone that comments on what they do. Become someone who engages with them so that you're not a complete stranger. Find ways to get to know them and establish the relationship first. Because when you can do that, now you're no longer a complete stranger. Because like, hey, that name is familiar. I see them posting on my content all the time. I see them commenting on my things all the time. So now all of a sudden, I'm much more willing to at least have a conversation with them than I am if this is just some random person that I've never heard of in my life who's just cold messaging me, wanting me to do business with them, because I have no idea who these people are. And most of them are not people I'd want to associate with or do business with anyway. And that's why, like I said, all the ones that I get every single day just go straight into the trash bin because I have no relationship with them and I don't even care to look them up. Because don't worry, there'll be 10 more coming shortly of more people who are just trying to hook up with offers on things that I'm like, no, thank you. All of you sound the same. All of you have no relationship with me and I don't want to do business with you. So have that expectation. Learn how to create the relationship first. Learn how to build that connection so that you can get them to say yes. Once you start getting that and you start getting some speakers going, now you got to make sure you have the logistics put in place. You got to make sure you have the right platform to host the event. Now, there are a number of ways you can do this. You can do an event like this just simply with Zoom. Zoom will work. You can host a live event like this and have the thing go off with Zoom and use that. There's other softwares like EventMobi or Hey Summit. Those will work as well, but make sure you have the right software that will make this a smooth process for your attendees. You don't want to make this hard. You don't want to make this confusing. You want to make this so that it's very, very straightforward. And so that people know, how do I get on this session? How do I watch, have a clear agenda so that you send them out like here's the agenda for the summit. Here's a link on how to join each one. And there's links right there. Boom, boom, boom. They can hop on. I want to be on this one. I want to be on that one. Great. This is very simple, very straightforward. Make it very easy and straightforward for all your attendees to be able to do it. Make sure you have a clear schedule. Like, when are the live sessions going to be held? When are the sessions going to be happening with this speaker and that speaker? When are they going to, from 11 to 12 is going to be this speaker here and so forth? And when is there going to be Q&A? Are there going to be times where people who are attendees can ask questions of the speakers? Are there going to be networking opportunities where people can get in a group, a group session where they can network with each other and get into, smaller breakout sessions and meet with people and learn to connect and have opportunities to network with other people? Have all that laid out, how to have everything organized and coordinated. And a lot of these event software programs will allow you to do that. They will allow you to put together virtual events like this so you can have all those types of things. So you can have breakout sessions, so you can have networking opportunities. It's all virtual, but it's still possible. So you got to have that software in place. You got to have all that put together. And you need to then make sure you have your registration process set up. You have a web page where it's very clear and easy. It talks about all the event, all the things that you get, all the things that are happening, and all the promotional materials that you have out there. How are you going to promote this event? How are you going to get people to sign up? How are you going to get people to register? So you need to have marketing materials. You need to have all these different things put together. So again, as you're probably sensing, was I said early on in this podcast, where I said you need to make sure that you have some help for this one. This is an amazing way to grow your business very, very quickly. But I'm just, again, going to reiterate, don't try and do this one all by yourself. It is a lot of work. There's a lot of moving pieces to this one, as you can see, though. But if you get a little momentum and you get going and some of these bigger players start bringing in, you can grow your email list by the thousands very, very quickly. You can create income very, very quickly if you get the right people to support and promote you. But you're going to need a few extra hands to help you coordinate and organize and make sure all this is going to happen. Doing this as a one-person show, don't even try it. Don't even go there, because you will be so overwhelmed that there is no way that you can keep everything coordinated and moving in place with just one person on it. You need multiple hands. This is something that you need to make sure that you have some assistance, because there's just too many moving parts that are all happening at the same time for one person to be able to handle it all. So when you do this, then you need to actually, and then your event happens, you get to that day and you need to host the summit. So you want to then be engaging with your audience. You want to do some live polls. You want to have polls going out to get audience engagement. So people are like interacting. You want to have breakout sessions. You want to have chat interactions. You want to offer perks for attending live. Maybe there's some free downloadable resources, but the only way to get that is if you're on live. And you have to be on live. Maybe you want to have VIP access. Like this speaker afterwards is going to ask, be willing to answer some questions from certain members of the audience. But to be able to be part of that, you need to have a VIP ticket. And a VIP ticket allows you to get into the session after the talk and ask questions of the speaker. And that, is something there. And so forth. So there's all these little ways, again, all these little nuances in there. You want to make sure that you have all these things in place so that your audience feels connected, because the downside of doing a virtual summit is the lack of connection. When you are at a live event, when you are in the room with people, when you are there with other people, it's very easy to network. It's very easy to get engaged with other people because they're all around you. Everywhere you turn, there's people. When you are doing it virtually, you're all in your own homes. You're all in your own workspaces. You're all separate from each other. So you have to create all those opportunities. You have to create all those moments where people can engage, because otherwise people will just sit there and they're not even engaged. They have the speaker on, but they're actually working on something else. There's nothing that they're doing that's even really, they're only kind of half there. You have to work extra hard to create the excitement, to create the engagement, to create the opportunities for them to interact so that they stay engaged, so that they're not sitting there half listening to the speaker, but then working on a project on the side. So you have to have all of that. And then once the event is over, you have to have a plan in place to send follow-up emails. Because what you can do is you can follow up with them and you make follow-up offers. Like, hey, you saw this, or if you weren't able to attend this session, here's still an opportunity to take advantage of this offer to do these things. You can make additional offers. Plus, now you have an email list that has grown substantially, and you need to have a little bit of a plan in place. How am I going to promote to them? How am I going to offer them value so that people want to stay on my email list? How am I going to send them things that they're going to want to buy? So after the event is over, you can continue making sales. You can keep this train going and keep sales coming in, but you need to have a good strategy. How am I going to, so that I don't send them an email and everybody just immediately click unsubscribe. What is this? I don't want this anymore. Go away. No, you want to offer value to them. You want to be useful to them, but then you also want to offer them the opportunity to work with you, to buy your products, to be able to send you, to make more purchases so you can make more money off this thing. You honestly, if you do this well, you could be making money months and even years afterwards. These people who are now on your list might become customers months and months and years down the road, because now you have this amazing, a bigger list that you can keep marketing to. And these people can keep this event, can turn into revenue for you for a long, long time. But again, this is one of the marketing efforts that is a lot of work. This is why, when I said it earlier, this is a way to grow your business very quickly, in a much bigger way, in a very fast manner, but is not for a one-man show. It is not for a one-woman show. This is a team. This is a team effort. It is a lot of work. So to kind of wrap everything up, I hope you got a good idea of the essence of a virtual summit, of what it can do for you and what all can be involved. Understand that they are a very powerful way to grow your business and a very powerful way to make your business take off. The downside is they are a lot of work. There's a lot of involved. There's a lot of things that go into this. You're not just going to snap your fingers and pull one of these things together. The amount of planning, the amount of prep work, the amount of outreach to other people to get other speakers that are valuable and fit your vision. There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, I've hosted enough live events in events like this to know that this is not for the faint of heart. So, again, the logistics can be a lot. And we had an entire team that was helping us of people, and they were largely full-time, just putting together a lot of the event stuff, putting together all the pieces, all the different things that we were doing. So those are things that you need to take into account. And if you don't have the right, connections, if you're at a stage where you just I don't know enough people that have a big enough audience that I could really make this work, then spend some time just building those relationships. If you're not at that stage yet, if you're at the stage where you're like, yeah, I just don't have those kind of relationships yet. I don't know enough people. I don't know enough thought leaders. So what I would recommend is start reaching out to those people, and for no other reason, just to get to know them. Just start commenting on their things, saying, hey, this is a great post. I really love this video. So appreciative of your insights here. Or maybe go to events where they're speaking. Go to somebody else's conference and go attend and start networking with people and getting to know people and building those relationships. And, those are all ways. And maybe that's your first step. If you're really interested in this, but you're saying, I'm not there yet, I'm not at that point where I could pull this off, then the first thing is, how do you start building relationships with people? How can you start doing those types of things? How can you start building this out so that people can, you can start having some connections? I'm always amazed when I've gone to conferences in past years is I'll go, and I still remember one time, I sat down and a gentleman, was also an attendee, and it was a big conference, and we're both sitting there, and it was lunch, and we were both, and the crowd was so crazy and it was so big that just getting through the line to even get some food and having enough time to sit down and eat. I mean, it was difficult because there were so many people. Everything was so overrun, so that I found a table. It was amazing. I actually found a small table to sit down at, so I didn't have to sit on the floor. And I had, it was a 2-person table, and there was another chair, and a guy came up to me and said, do you mind? Can I sit with you? Because I was like, fine, go ahead. That's totally fine, because I understood we're all just trying to find a place to sit because we don't want to sit on the floor, because that's how crowded it was. And next thing I know, I get to connect with this guy, and I know this guy actually works with the guy who's putting on the conference. He has a relationship with this massive thought leader, and I'm going, wow. And all of a sudden I now have this connection. He is a person who was a copywriter and he did work directly for the man who was running this conference, and if I said his name, you would all know him very, very clearly. So now I have this relationship with this guy, and we exchange contact information, and I actually even did some work with him and did some various things with him. And we actually started working together, and all of a sudden I have another connection. So you just don't know what can happen. But the only way that does happen is you got to just start putting yourself out there and start connecting with people and start meeting people and start building relationships and friendships with people. Because when you do, all of a sudden you start building those bridges, and these people who are these big thought leaders are suddenly not as far away as you thought. So that's what I got for you today. Virtual summits are an amazing tool. Let's be really honest. There is a reason people to do this. There is a reason people host these things, because you can take your business from a 5 to a 10 really quick. And if you have the right people, the right speakers, and the right promotion, man, it is intense, the amount of growth that you can generate from one of these. But again, it's not for the very, very beginning person, because it takes a lot of work. It is a lot of effort to pull these off, and you got to have the right speakers coming in to elevate you, to bring you to that level, and that involves creating relationships. So I hope you found this helpful. If we can help you with anything in your business, maybe doing one of these or doing anything else related to helping grow your business, come check out designlaunchgrow.com. We would love to help you and work with you. Otherwise, that's it for today. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon.